is visible? Hello? Anybody can confirm?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, so let's revise within 5 minutes like what we have done in the last lecture. So in the last lecture we have seen the types of competent networks, right? So total 4 types we have seen. Actually, basically main 3 types like LAN, local area network, MAN, metropolitan area network, and WAN, wide area network, right? It is the fourth one that PAN, that personal area network, right? It's we can say latest. So in these three, actually all these 3 types, right? It's basically defined based on the uh, how much area your network is covering, right? So if the area is like in a single building, like it's very small, like an office, then we call it as a LAN, right? And if it is covering like more than one building, like you need to connect 2 LAN in a network, then it will become MAN, right? And if we'll talk about the network which is covering the region of some state or some country, then it is called as a wide area network, right? So if I'll give the best example, then if uh, a bank, right? If a bank, if you talk about a single branch of a bank, then whatever the network they are using inside a single office or single branch of a bank, it's a LAN. You can call it as a LAN. Now, if you will consider like a bank has more than one branches in a city, right? Like 3 or 4 branches, and those all 4 branches need a common network, then that common network you can call it as a MAN, right? So it is covering more than one LAN inside it, right? And if you'll consider like a bank has one branch in, for example, in Gujarat, second branch is some other state like Maharashtra. Likewise, if all those branches in a country need a common network, right, then you call it as a WAN or wide area network, right? And internet is the best example of WAN. So this is the main difference, right? So that we have seen, and we have also seen some advantages and disadvantages, like mainly about this WAN, right? Which we are using mostly because we are using internet every day. So that we have seen, right? So uh, in some disadvantages like main security, right? Like there is a problem of hackers, or maybe somebody will inject virus inside your system, so you need antivirus and the firewall kind of features in your system, right? Then it's speed, right? And the troubleshooting problem, like if there was some problem, then it is difficult to find, right? Because you have hundreds or thousands of devices inside your network. So to find the problem is also difficult, and to solve it is also difficult. And the cost, like the installation cost, is too much when we talk about the plan, right? So these are some disadvantages that we have discussed, right? And definitely it also has some advantages, like so that also we have discussed, like it's covering uh, very wide area, right? Geographical area, and like some web application like Facebook, WhatsApp, Skype, right? All this communication are using, we can say, WAN network, right? And the bandwidth of WAN is generally it's too high, so we can transfer data with high speed, right? Then some example also we have seen, right? Then this or the span is actually generally we define like in the range of some 10 meters, so we'll include some Bluetooth or infrared, right, or Wi-Fi connection inside it, right? So if you connect a device with another device through this Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or infrared, and you will transfer the data, you can call it as a PAN, personal area network, right? So that we have seen, right? It may be of wireless, that we have seen, right? So when it's wireless, then generally we are using Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or infrared, and if we talk about wired, then we are using USB cable, right? Universal serial bus. So that we have seen, right? So this is about the last lecture. Now today we will uh, talk about the network topology, right? So first of all, what is the topology? So the topology we can define as the structure of network, like how all the components or devices are interconnected to each other, right? So if we talk about a computer network, then network we have many devices, right? It may be laptop, it may be computer, it may be TV, it may be some other device, some hardware, right? Like printer or something else, scanner. So how those all components are interconnected with each other, right? So based on that, that structure will define the topology, right? So there are mainly two types of topology. One is the physical and the second is the logical. So mostly we'll talk about the physical topology. So the physical topology is the geometrical representation of all the nodes. Nodes means uh, any devices like computer, PC, right? So how these nodes in the network, how they are connected with each other, right? So the geometrical representation, right? So that is given by this topology. So there are main five types of topology. Uh, so those are like bus topology, ring topology, tree topology, star topology, and the mesh topology. And the sixth one, that is the hybrid, in which we are using.
Sir,
Yes.
some students are waiting in the lobby.
Okay. Thank you. So in the hybrid, we are including more than one this basic topology. Like if you combine like some two topology like bus and ring, then it will become hybrid. So in hybrid, more than one topology will include, right? It may be two, it may be three, it may be four, or it may be the combination of all the five topology, right? So that is the hybrid topology. So one by one we'll see. So before look into the topologies, first we'll see the factors that affect the choice of the topology for a network. Like you need to create a network, you need to develop a network, then which topology you should prefer, right? So that choice is depends on some factor, right? So those factors are like the cost, uh, like installation cost, then the flexibility of your network, means how much flexibility you need, then the ease of installation, uh, reliability of your network, then how much scalable network you need, then the how much how you want to maintain your network, right? So ease of the maintenance. So these are some factors. So the cost is like installation cost. So in this in these different topologies, the different devices are connected with each other different way. So to connect to device, definitely we need the cables, right? So depends on the topology, you need different length of the cable. Depends on the topology, there is a variation in the distance between two node, right? So depends on that, you need the different length of the cables, and also uh, the types of the cable, right? And also in depends on the topology, your server will be located. So according to that also you need the different length of cable. So because of this cable length, right, if you consider it, you need a different cost for different topology, a different cost of cables in different topologies, right? So that is one factor, right? uh, because whenever you want to develop a network, right, cost is the main concern, right? You have like a budget, like in this much of amount you have to make the computer network. So that is one factor. The second is the flexibility. So flexibility is like uh, uh, if you need to reconfigure, or you can say like to change the setup, like once you have connected all the devices in the network, then you need to change it or not, right? So that is the flexibility. So if you need to change it frequently, then according to that you have to choose the topology, like right. And if you do not need it, then or rarely you need to reconfigure, then you have to choose the topology according to that, right? So that is the
Sir,
flexibility.
people are waiting in the lobby.
Okay. Uh, so this is about flexibility, right? In flexibility also we can include like if one node is at some places, you want to disconnect it and you want to connect it at some other location. Like for example, you are creating a network in a building, and in your building like you have some 3 floors, right? So if sometimes like you need to uh, transfer one computer which is at first floor to some third floor, for example, then if your network is flexible, then it will allow, right? So this is one factor. Then the ease of installation, like network should be easy to install in the terms of hardware, software, and technical personal requirement, right? So uh, according with this in different topologies, like how you will install the hardware, software, and if you have some other requirement, right? So that is different in different topologies. So that is also one factor you have to consider, right, when you choose the topology. Then the reliability, like the network your network should be designed in such a way that it has minimum downtime, right? Minimum downtime means if some problem will occur, then for example, if some problem will occur in some device or some node, right, then it should not affect the whole network, right? So your network should have minimum downtime, right? So minimum failure, right? So according that factor also you have to consider, right? Like failure of one node or a segment of cabling should not affect the whole network, right? Or it should not make the whole network useless. So that is also one factor. Then the scalability. So in the scalability, like if once you have develop a network, in your network, for example, you have some 50 computer, now you need to add some more 10 PCs, then your network should allow it, right? So that is a scalability. So network should be scalable, like it can accommodate the load of new devices, uh, right? And with that, once you will add the more node or new devices in your network, that should not affect the performance of whole network, right? So performance means like if you have 50 devices in your network at that time, uh, the there is like minimum possibility of error, right? Once you have when you have only 50 nodes or devices in your network, at that time you have minimum error, or minimum, we can say, the like when you are transferring the data, the loss of data is minimum. Like when you add more 10 pc, and after that if the error and that data loss will increase, means that new devices have affected your the existing performance of your network. So that should not happen, right? So that is also you have to keep in mind. So that is also one factor, right? So your network should be scalable, right? But without affecting your performance, right? Then the ease of maintenance. So we know that like each and everything need maintenance, right? So if some problem will happen, or if some device will not work properly, then you want to disconnect and again reconnect it, or you want to troubleshoot the problem, or you find the error, right? So that should be very easy in your network, right? So these are the factors which we are considering when we choose the topology. Now let's see the topology one by one. So the first topology is bus topology. So you can see in the figure, like in bus topology, there is a single middle cable is there, right? So that cable is known as a backbone cable, and with that cable, all the devices, like mostly the PC or laptop, are connected, right? And you can see, like I have given two figure, right? So in the second figure, you can see at the two end uh, dots are given, right? So in one dot I have written the terminator. So in the bus topology, you have a backbone cable, right? And at the both end, right, there is a line terminator, right? You can say the bus topology is designed in such a way that all the stations are connected through a single cable, right, which is known as a backbone cable. Uh, each node is either connected to backbone cable by drop cable, or directly connect to the back cable. So uh, generally, mostly we directly connect the device to this backbone cable, or sometimes it's by the drop cable, uh, and this backbone cable, which is known as a bus. So that's why the topology name is bus topology. Generally, this backbone cable, this bus is usually of coaxial cable, right? We have seen the three types, like twisted pair, coaxial cable, and fiber optic. So mostly it is of coaxial cable. Sometimes it is also twisted pair, right? The both end are the both end of the shared channel have the line terminators, right? Okay. And the server, if you are following the client server client model, then server is at one of the end of this bus. Generally we put the server at the one of end. This backbone cable is considered as a single length through which message is broadcast to all the station, carry the message in the both directions. So in this cable, this bus, this in this backbone cable, data can transmit transmit in both the direction, right? Like in the figure you can see, like cable is given horizontally, so the data can travel from left to right, and it can also travel from right to left, right? But both direction, the data transmission in the both direction will not work simultaneously, right? At a time only one direction data transmission in the one direction will work. uh, so what happened when one device want to send some message or some data to another device, then what happened, it will broadcast the message. Broadcast means it will send the message to all the devices in the network, right? We have the option of broadcast in our WhatsApp application, right? So broadcast means on single click you will send data to all selected person, right? So same way in the bus topology, you whenever a device want to send data, then it will broadcast the message to all the station or all the devices, right? uh, so when they send data, they will transmit with the data, means the data is transmitted in the form of a packet, and in that packet there is a destination address, right? Address is the local IP address. So destination address plus the data, right? So that packet the sender will send, right? And all the devices in the network will receive that packet, and they will check like the destination is their own destination address or something else. If it is of the same destination address, like a PC is receiving the data and the address is same as the receiver, then it will uh, copy that data local disk, right? And if the address destination address is different than the receiver address, then they will not copy the data, like they will not receive the data. Okay, so that way the communication will happen. Okay. Okay, then the data is sent in only one direction, and as soon as it reaches to its extreme end, the terminator removes the data from the line, right? So we know that if you see the two terminator, right, two uh, ends, right? So all the devices are between the two ends. So any device will send the data. Once the data will reach to the terminator, right, uh, the data is destroyed, we can say, right? Or the terminal will remove the data from the line. Now in this bus topology is mainly used in 802.3 and 802.4 standard network, right? So it's a standard that is developed by IEEE, right? Uh, so this 802.3, it's a Ethernet standard, right? Ethernet, uh, we can say the technology. Now in the bus topology, the configuration is quite simpler as compared to the other topologies, as it only use a single central cable, right, to develop its whole network. You, when you will see the other topology, you will find how uh, the different nodes are connected with each other. So how the cable is used in the in particular topology. So compared to those all topologies, bus is, we can say, it's very simple, right? Because it's using only a single cable, right? And the most common access method, right? It is also kind of uh, a method, right, which is used in the bus topologies, CSMA, carrier sense multiple access, right? So we will not go in the detail in this method, but just for information, like in bus topology, which method, access method is used, right? So it's a carrier sense multiple access. And now some advantages of bus topology. So uh, the main advantage is low cost cable. So in bus topology, nodes are directly connected to the cable, right, without passing through any hub. You can, right, when you can see here in this picture, right, there is no router hub kind of thing I have shown, right? It means this nodes are directly connected to the cable, and therefore its installation cost is low. You just need cables, no other such devices like hub, router. Then the moderate data speed. So as I told, like in this topology, coaxial or twisted pair cables are mainly used, right? And these cables will support up to some 10 Mbps speed, right? So it is also one advantage. Then the familiar technology like bus technology, bus topology is a uh, familiar technology, as the installation, the troubleshooting techniques are well known, and hardware components are easily available, right? Because you see its topology, one single cable, and with that all the devices are connected, right? So the troubleshooting and installation is very easy, we can say. Now, and then one important advantage is like limited failure. Limited failure means if a single node in the network, right, uh, have some problem or will stop to work, then it will not affect the other nodes, right? For example, in this figure, if you see, uh, there are, in the first figure, 4 PCs are connected, right? Now, like the first PC have some problem, then it will not affect the network of other 3 PCs, right? The other 3 PC can communicate with each other, right? So that is one important advantage of this bus topology, right? Now this topology also have some disadvantages like extensive cabling. Like a bus topology is quite simpler, but still it's require a lot of cabling. Uh, so that is, we can include in the disadvantage. Uh, the difficult troubleshooting, so it's requires specialized test equipment to determine the cable fault, right? Like if some device have a fault, then no worry. But if in your bus topology you have many devices, and if some problem will happen with cable, right, then it's difficult to troubleshoot. So it's requires specialized test equipment to determine that cable fault, right? And we know that if any fault occurs in cable, then it will destroy the communication of all the nodes, right? Because it's the complete network is depends on the central cable, right? The bus. So if some problem in the bus, then the network, complete network will destroy. There's a single interference. So if two nodes send the message simultaneously, then the signals of both nodes collide with each other, right? And because of that, uh, uh, data is not transmitted properly. So as I told, right, uh, communication can happen in single direction only, right? Uh, then the reconfiguration is difficult. Adding new devices to the network will slow down the network. So here there is a chance, like if you add more and more devices, then there is a chance like your network will go slow. So we can say like this bus topology is not that much of scalable. Then attenuation, like attenuation is the loss of the signal, right? So if in your bus topology, like you have more number of PC, for example, if you have some 10 number of PC in the bus topology, then for example, one PC you want to send data is, for example, at one end, and the receiver, for example, at the second end, right? Then the data should pass through a limited length of cable, right? Now instead of that, for example, you have 1000 PC in your bus topology, then, and your sender is at one end and receiver at the second end. It means data has to pass through a more length of cable, right? So because of that, there is a chance of loss of signal or loss of data, that is known as attenuation. So in such cases, in bus topology, we are using repeaters, right? So what is the function of repeaters? So repeaters what will do, they will receive the data, and if some problem will there or some loss will be there, they will modify the signal and they try to make the signal as original one, right? So we need to use such kind of repeater in bus topology, right? So we can add that in the disadvantages, right? Then the next second is the ring topology, right? So uh, from the name you can say, like in the ring topology, all the devices are connected in a circular path or in a closed path, right? So if you compare with the bus topology, then ring topology is same as bus topology. The only change is like the two end we have connected with each other, right? So this bus topology, and if you connect two end with each other, you you get a closed path, and this that thing is there in ring topology, right? So it's similar to bus topology, only we will connect two end. And if you observe the each node or each device, then you can say like each device is exactly connected with two its adjacent or neighbor devices. Like you can pick up any device and you can see it is connected with in with its two neighbor, only two neighbor, not more than two, fixed exactly two, not less than two, not more than two, right? So that is one, you can say one feature or characteristic of ring topology, right? Like each terminal or each node is exactly connected with other two nodes, right, which are uh, in the neighbor, and because of that you are getting the circular shape, right? Now how the data transmission will happen in the ring topology. So the node that receives the message from the previous, like for example, uh, this stop one, that PC want to send the data to which are in at the bottom, this one, right? So how it will send the data? It will send the data to its neighboring PC. It will receive the data. It will pass data to again its neighboring PC, that will receive the data and it will send data to its neighbor. Like the sender or the device which want to send data, it will send data to its neighboring node or neighboring device, right? And again that process will repeat, like that PC will send data to its neighbor device. Likewise, this process will repeated till data will reach to the destination, right? And here also the same thing will happen, like each node or each device will check the destination address, right? Whenever the any device will send data, it will send data with its destination address, right? So each device, when they receive data, they will check the destination address, like they will match with their own address. If it match, then they will copy the data, otherwise they will send data to next PC. uh, so here also, before for the transmission, for example, in your ring topology you have more number of PCs. Then before further transmission of data, uh, you can or you may amplify the data, right? So in this way the data travels through the network, reaches its destination, right? And once it will reach to destination, it will remove the data from the network, right? uh, if for example because of some problem, uh, some power cut or some other kind of issue, if data is not received to its destination, like uh, and due to this ring topology, like again it will reach to its sender, then what sender will do, it will resend it again, right? So this way the communication will happen, and the data keeps moving until it will reach to destination, right? For example, once the data is transmitted is not received, second time it will transmit. Likewise, the data will keep moving in the loop until it reach to its destination, right? And here also you can see the data flow is in one direction, so you can call it as a unidirectional, right? In bus also we can send data in single direction. Here also we can in single direction, right? So both the topology are unidirectional. Here you can see like all nodes are equal, right? There is no concept like client server model, right? Such kind of thing is not you can find, right? All nodes are at equal level, right? Like we have seen the architecture of peer-to-peer network, right? The data flow in a single loop continuously known as an endless loop. It has no terminated end, like each node is connected to other node and having no termination point, right? That we have discussed. The data in the ring topology flow in the clockwise direction. So generally that is not always fixed, but mostly data is transferring in the clockwise direction, right? Because in circular path you can transmit data in either clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction, right? But mostly in the ring topology data is transmitted in a clockwise direction. The most common access method of the ring topology is token passing. uh, like in bus topology it is CSMA, right? So same way here the most common access method is token passing. uh, so because of that also sometimes in some book or some material you will find like this topology name is a token ring topology, right? This ring topology sometimes it is also known as a token ring topology, right? Because mostly it is using the token passing access method, right? So token passing means it is a network access method in which token is passed from one node to another node, and the token is actually it is a frame, right? uh, which will circulated around the network. So how this token passing access method will work? So a token is actually one kind of packet of a data, we can say, right? So a token moves around the network and it is passed from one computer or one device to another device until it will reach to its destination, right? So how it will reach to destination? So generally in token it has the destination address, right? Or receiver address. So the sender modified the token by putting the address along with the data. The data is passed from one device to another device until the destination address matched, right? Once token received by the destination device, then it sends the acknowledgement to the sender. So what happened? Uh, the sender or the device which want to send the data, it will send the token, and once the token is received by the destination device, right? That destination device will send the acknowledgement like it have already received the token, right? And after that data is received. So in a ring topology a token is used as a carrier, right? So this token passing, if you want to learn it in the deep, right? It's again uh, there is lot of thing to see, right? But for us, just we have to uh, get the idea or the information about topology, right? Now the advantage of ring topologies, we can include like network management. So the network management is like faulty devices can be removed from the network without bringing the network down. Mm, so here what we can do, if some faulty device will find, and if you want to remove it from the network, like, then we can remove without shut down the whole network, or we can make the whole network like down. So without stopping the whole network, we can just remove the failure one. Then the product availability. So many hardware and software tools for network operation and monitoring are available in this ring topology. Right? Uh, then the post. So in this ring topology, generally the twisted pair cables are used, which are not that much of expensive, right? They are not expensive compared to uh, coaxial and optical fiber, right? So because of that, it cost is less, uh, and this type of cable are also easily available, right? So you can say like installation cost is very low. Then reliable. So it is a more reliable network because the communication system is not depends on a single host computer, right? So here all the devices are at same equal level, all have the same responsibility, same authorization. So because of that, we can say it's reliable. Right? Then some disadvantages like difficult troubleshooting. So it requires specialized test equipment to determine the cable fault. Right? So same is the bus topology. Here also, if you want to do some troubleshooting in cable, then you need special test equipment, right? And here also, if any fault occur in a cable, then the whole network will destroy, right? Because you need transfer data from one node to another node, and you have only single cable which is connecting two nodes. So if some problem will occur in a cable, then the whole system will destroy. The failure, so the breakdown in one station leads to failure of whole network, right? Because uh, every time data has to pass through each devices, right? So if the problem in one station means one device or PC, which will leads to fail the whole network. Then the reconfiguration difficult. So the adding new devices to the network would slow down the network, right? So why it slow down? As you add more number of PCs, then for example, uh, one for like right now we have some 10 PC in the ring, and you are transferring data, for example, from first PC to the fifth one. Then you have to pass through only 4 PC. Now, if you add more number of PC, and those PCs are, for example, added between that first and fifth PC, then now if you transfer the data, then it has to pass through more than 4 PC. So because of that, your speed may be slowed down. The delay, so the communication delay is directly proportional to the number of nodes, right? So the speed is delay. If you have delay, then definitely you have the less speed. So as the number of PC between two nodes are increased, definitely uh, the data transmission have a delay, right? So these are disadvantages of ring topology. Then the next is the star topology. So that we will see in the next lecture. So by the time I will share the link.